Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to the Linguistic Channel. And today we are going to learn all the tenses in just less than an hour. But prior to that, I would like to tell you that if you haven't learned the thumb rules of all the tenses, this is going to be a little difficult for you to understand. So, at first, go to my last video and learn them, and then come to this one so that you can learn all 12 tenses, all the tenses, without any difficulties. So, let's begin. At first, we have got a tense, which is called present simple tense. My friends, as you all know, that I keep definitions really easy. So I've kept this one as well. It's just a two-word definition that says that happens. जो भी होता है, कभी भी होता है, कहीं भी होता है, कितनी बार भी होता है. We do not need to do anything with that, right? Whenever we talk about something that happens, there we are going to use present simple tense. People, do you want to know an amazing fact about present simple tense? He who knows present simple tense 100% knows 70% of total English. क्योंकि हम अपनी डेली लाइफ में सबसे ज़्यादा जो टेंस इस्तेमाल करते हैं, that is present simple tense. Okay, so it's not that easy that it seems. Let's move to the rules of this that we need to understand first. The rules to make present simple tense. Rule number 1. Whenever we form an affirmative sentence, affirmative, in Urdu it means sada, or in Hindi you call it sada jumla, and in English you call it affirmative or a positive sentence which does not have any negation or interrogation in that, using third-person singulars as subject. Do you know what is a third-person singular? He, she, it, and any singular name is called third-person singular, okay? So when we form a present simple tense using third-person singular as subject, what we do is we add s, es, and ies in the verb, right? So to make my friends from Pakistan and India understand it clearly, let me tell this in Urdu, or Hindi you call it, right? So keeping it simple, जब हम सादा जुमला third person singular जो कि he, she, it के साथ it होते हैं, उनके साथ बनाएंगे, तो हम verb के अंदर s, es और ies का इजाफा करेंगे. Now the question arises that with which verbs we need to add s, with which verbs we need to use es, and what about ies? कौन से verb के साथ हम s लगाएंगे, कौन से के साथ es, कौन से के साथ ies? So we have got second rule for that says the verbs ending with sh, ch, sox, we add es with them in the end. For example, crash, right? जिन verbs के आखिर में sh, ch, sox आता है, हम उनके साथ es लगाते हैं. For example, crash ends with sh, so you're going to use es there. Watch ends with ch, so it's going to be es. Bless with s, so es. Go goes, box boxes, right? The third rule, which is about using ies or adding ies. So my friends, जिन verbs के आखिर में y आता है और y से पहले consonant होता है, ठीक है? Not a vowel, a consonant. So if there's a consonant, what we're going to do is we're going to remove y and put ies in the verb. For example, try, try. So try goes tries. Okay, but then there is a vowel before y. For example, in play, P-L-A-Y, what we do is we simply add S. ठीक है, तो जिन verbs के आखिर में Y आएगा और Y से पहले consonant होगा तो हम Y हटा के IS लगा देंगे, और अगर Y से पहले vowel होगा, that you call it vowel, which is a wrong pronunciation, right? तो हम क्या करेंगे, हम simple S लगा देंगे, like we do it with play, P-L-A-Y-S. The fourth rule, when we form a negative or interrogative, जब हम सवालिया या इनकारिया जुमला बनाएंगे third person singular के साथ as subject, ठीक है, so we use does as helping verb and remove the addition of s, es and ies from the verb. Now the question arises कि भाई हम s, es और ies का इजाफा क्यों हटाएंगे जब हम does लगा देंगे? So my friends, does itself does not have any sort of existence, right? Does, I mean, es is the addition to the verb do. So when it is a helping verb, what is it? We add es with it because of the rule, right? So we do it like that, right? Next thing, let's have a look at some examples. Affirmative sentence, right? With I, we, you, they, we see that we have not made any addition of s, es and ies, and we have simply used verbs first form. Like I explained the lesson, we make food, you travel a lot, they want to work hard, but when it comes with he, she or it, we have added s, like she wears new suits in the party, he talks a lot, it crawls on the floor. The same thing goes with a negative. Remember, negative बनाने का rule है कि we always add not with helping verb. So it says, I don't, or you can say, I do not explain the lesson. When it comes to a negation with he, she, it goes, she does not wear. You see, we have removed the addition of s from the verb wear. An interrogative, the rule to form an interrogative is that we bring the helping verb first. तो हम interrogative में क्या करते हैं, हम helping verb पहले ले आते हैं. So it's going to be like, does he talk a lot, or does it crawl on the floor? Let's go to the next slide. Exercise. Use the given subjects and verbs and make sentences. Right? So it is an exercise for you. You can pause the video right here and complete the answers. I will just tell you the answers in the next slide. Once you are done making the sentences, play the video and get your answers. Okay, now I think you have done the exercise, so let's check your answers. So you were supposed to make negative with the verb make and she. So what is going to be? She does not make whatever object you just put. It doesn't matter. Okay, with he, dress up, and interrogative. Okay, so it should have been does he dress up. I hope you didn't make it wrong. आपने he के साथ does he लगाया होगा, as it is the rule that with he, she, it. In interrogative we use does, and then translate. So I translate, or you translate, or whatever. It's just an easy word. It crawl. So it was a very easy verb. You must have made it correctly. Okay, we do not light. Do we walk? Don't forget to put a question mark when you're forming an interrogative. And kick, they do not kick, right? Okay, great. When we have successfully learned present simple tense, now let's go for the other tense, that is past simple tense. Okay, so we have a two-word definition for this tense as well. And the definition is that happened. जो भी हुआ था, जैसे भी हुआ था, कभी भी हुआ था. When you talk about something you did, जो आपने किया था, उसके लिए we use past simple tense. Okay, let's learn some rules. Okay, so what is the form that we have in past simple tense? It is, right? Yes, it is a past form, which is second form of the verb, right? So we use second form of the verb when we form an affirmative sentence of past simple tense. अब second form verb की इस्तेमाल करते हैं, लेकिन जब हम did इस्तेमाल करते हैं in negative and interrogative, तो हम second verb के अंदर verb की first form use करते हैं. जैसे कि आपने देखा in present simple tense, जब हमने do के साथ es लगाया, तो हमने next verb के अंदर से ses और is का addition हटा दिया. तो it is a rule of English grammar that when we have already made additions in a verb, so the next verb won't be affected at all, right? Next verb के अंदर verb की first form आ जाएगी, ठीक है? So the same thing is here, that when we use did as helping verb, we do not use the second form of the verb in the next verb. Next, let's get some examples. You see, the affirmative examples are, I went to market, मैं market गया था या गई थी. She unified us, उसने हमें एक किया था. We sent the list, हमने list भेजी थी. You drank water, तुमने पानी पिया था. And now when we go for a negative of the first sentence, what's going to be? I, yes, the helping verb is did. So I did. Negative के अंदर the rule is that we add not with the helping verb. तो वो क्या हो जाएगा? I did not go. The first form, yes, according to the rule. जब हम did लगा देंगे, तो next verb के अंदर verb की first form आ जाएगी. So it's going to be like I did not go to the market. You see, the same thing is here. She didn't, which is the short form of did not. अच्छा, इसको लोग didn't भी पढ़ते हैं. Didn't is the wrong pronunciation for this, right? The correct pronunciation is didn't. ठीक है? And we did not send the list. You see, हर verb के अंदर हमने verb की first form लगा दी है. Interrogative, it's going to be, did I go to market? Did she unify us? Did we send the list? Did you drink water? And so on. Okay, we have followed the same rule using helping verb in the beginning, and the rest of the sentence remained the same. Next, here is an exercise. So, you have the verbs जिनके आपने negative, interrogative, affirmative, negative, interrogative, negative बनाने हैं. ठीक है, इस verb की list आपके सामने है. Now you can pause the video and make sentences. Perfect. So I think you have made the sentences and you have learned it correctly. So let's get the answers. Abandon, which means to stop doing something, is going to be he did not abandon, right? देखें, हमने did लगाया तो हमने abandon की first form use की. अगर हम negative नहीं बना रहे होते, हम इसका affirmative बनाते, जैसे कि भाई he abandoned smoking, तो यहाँ पे हम verb की second form लगाते हैं. Enable, you see, did you enable? Abort, I aborted the mission. You see, यहाँ पे हमने abort की second form लगा दी. You can check your answers. Perfect. Let's move ahead. The next tense we have here is a future simple tense. जिसकी definition है that will happen. जो होगा. अब जो कभी भी होगा, जो भी होगा, future में होगा, उसके लिए हम future simple tense use करेंगे. ठीक है? Let's catch up with the rules. So will is the helping verb. We all know it's really easy. You need to use will, will everywhere. Shall is not used anymore. Shall को इस्तेमाल ख़त्म हुए हुए भी कोई आज से 10 साल हो चुके हैं. It's been a decade कि shall अब use नहीं होता. And still students ask कि भाई सर ये अपना हम future simple में shall इस्तेमाल करेंगे या नहीं करेंगे. So we do not use shall anymore with future simple tense. Okay? Shall is used in some other places, right? We'll talk about them later on. Verbs first form. It will always have verbs first form. And that is it. बस इतना ही. Will helping verb है. Verb की first form आएगी और sentence पूरा. Let's get some examples. Like you see, he will see you soon. वो तुमसे जल्द ही मिलेगा. They won't meet now. वो मुझसे अभी नहीं मिलेंगे. ठीक है? Want is the short form of will not. Will you bring it tomorrow? You say यही rule हम use कर रहे हैं negative और interrogative में. जब हम not लगाएंगे तो the sentence will be negative और जब हमें interrogative बनाना होगा तो हम helping verb पहले ले जाएंगे. Exercise time. Okay, so let's do an exercise. You have the verbs, you know what to do, you have the subjects. Good luck, pause the video and do it. I think you have done it now, so let's check your answers. Okay, so it's going to be I will not adopt, right? No second forms, no third forms, only the first form and simple not with will. Affirmative, he will advise. Interrogative, will I afford? Okay, I hope this is clearly understood. Now wait for the next video to be uploaded. It's just, you know, it's maybe this day or tomorrow. Actually, I cannot prolong the video too much. Otherwise, I know a lot of people will miss it because of lack of time. A lot of people are busy doing a lot of their stuff. So that's it for now. In the next video, we'll be learning all 3 continuous tenses. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to the second part of the first video. In the first video, we learned all 3 simple tenses, their rules. We did an exercise of that as well, right? So as I promised, in the second part, we'll be learning all 3 continuous tenses, right? So the first continuous tense is present continuous tense. अच्छा, हम इसकी definition इसके नाम से ही समझेंगे, ठीक है? जैसे कि present. What is the meaning of present? Present means the current situation, right? You know, something that is now. Continuous means jari. जो भी जारी है, right? अब जो भी कहाँ जारी है, present continuous, right? Whatever that is going on, जो भी अभी हाल में हो रहा है, उसके लिए we use present continuous tense. Like you're watching my video, we are learning, I'm teaching, right? You're using internet or whatever. अच्छा, अगर आपने मेरी वीडियो देखी हो जिसमें we talked about the rules, the thumb rules of all tenses, उसके अंदर I told you that with all continuous tenses, चाहे वो present हो, past हो, future continuous हो, या फिर हम बाकी perfect continuous tenses की बात करेंगे, तो किसी भी tense में हम जितने भी continuous tenses होंगे, we'll be using verbs ing form. So the definition is that is going on. जो भी हो रहा है is the definition of present continuous tense. Rules, which is what are the helping verbs? There is, am, are, verb form, ing. You call it gerund as well. Okay, so let's take an example. I'm appointing him, right? I'm appointing him. You know, as whatever you would like to add here, since it's just an example, और मेरे पास इतनी जगह थी नहीं कि मैं उसको इतनी लंबी लिख सकूं, तो I've just put it like this. तो मैंने एक sentence को complete किया. The next sentence is she's applying for the job. right? कि भाई वो जॉब के लिए अप्लाई कर रही है, ठीक है, and they are approaching me, or they are approaching me, or we are making food, or he is arguing with his sister. All right, negative. The same rule जो हम बाकी टेंसेस के साथ, बाकी तमाम चीज़ों के साथ फॉलो करते हैं, हम वही यूज़ करेंगे हेल्पिंग वर्ब के साथ. हम नॉट लगा देंगे नेगेटिव बनाते हुए. तो इट्स गोइंग टू बी लाइक आई एम नॉट अपॉइंटिंग हिम, और शी इज़ नॉट अप्लाइंग फॉर द जॉब. वो जॉब के लिए अप्लाई नहीं कर रही. इंटेरोगेटिव, यू नो द रूल. व्हाट वी डू इज हम हेल्पिंग वर्ब को पहले ले जाते हैं. तो एम आई अपॉइंटिंग हिम, इज शी अप्लाइंग फॉर द जॉब, आर यू अप्रोचिंग मी, आर वी मेकिंग फूड, is he arguing with his sister, and so on. Next is an exercise, right? So you guys do have the verbs, you guys do have, you know, the formation that with what, you know, type you need to form a sentence. You can pause the video now and make sentences. Your time starts now. Alright, I think that you have perfectly made the sentences. So let's check the answers. Before the answers, if you have not subscribed my channel, do subscribe it now. And if you have any questions, do write them in the comments right now. ताकि आप, you know, video के end तक अपने सवालात को भूलें ना. Or, you know, you can simply write them during, you know, while you're watching the video. And I'll be able to answer reading your comments, okay? And I would really appreciate if you guys ask me such questions. So, she's not aiming at her goals properly. Are you arriving now? They are apologizing for their acts. I'm assuming the situation. When are you attacking, right? मैंने यहाँ पे एक question word use किया when. उसका मतलब होता है कब. तुम कब अटैक कर रहे हो, और I'm authorizing this guy for future, and that's it. I hope that आपने sentences कुछ हद तक सही बनाए होंगे. I understand it's like कि आप इतनी जल्दी नहीं सीख पाते कोई भी चीज़, कोई भी नहीं सीख सकता. It requires a lot of practice. If you need, you know, more practice material, you can contact me. I can provide you some practice material, some practice worksheets as well. Okay, now moving on to the next tense, which is a past continuous tense. Alright, so where do we use a past continuous tense? हम इसके भी नाम से इसकी definition को समझेंगे. Past का क्या मतलब होता है? Past means माजी, continuous means जारी. तो ऐसा काम जो माजी में जारी था, उसके लिए we'll be using a past continuous tense. Okay, so that was happening. जो भी हो रहा था उसके लिए हम past continuous tense use करेंगे. Let's talk about the helping verbs and the form. Form तो आपको मालूम ही होगी कि हम इसमें ing form लगाते हैं since it's a rule, और helping verb हमारे पास हैं was and were. Were हम use करते हैं we, you, they के साथ. And was we use with I, he, she, it. Perfect. Let's get some examples. Okay. When we got to the house yesterday morning, the baby was drinking a bottle. He was waiting at home all day. वो पूरा दिन घर पे इंतजार कर रहा था. Right? Now you see, सबके साथ हमने ing form use की है. And it's not like कि हमने कहीं भी second form use की हो. अगर आप कहते हैं कि भाई ये सर आपने ये when she sent him the message में use किए, तो remember this is the past simple tense, और जो पहला sentence है is this one is a past continuous tense. ठीक है? So you can read the examples properly. Okay, great. Next, exercise. You do have the verbs, right? So you can simply form, you know, sentences yourself. So the verb you see here is bend, bring, break, fly, build, buy, wear. Now you have got time to make their sentences, right? So you can pause the video. Good luck. Okay. Now I think and expect that you have completely made the sentences. So now you can play the video and check your answers. So now you see the first sentence is with the verb bend. So was he bending the rod? Interrogative था इसलिए हमने was पहले लगा दिया. तो was he bending the rod? ठीक है? मतलब क्या वो rod मोड़ रहा था? Bring negative. I was not bringing the glass. Right? Break affirmative. She was breaking the glass. Right? कि वो glass तोड़ रही थी. Okay, so you can check your answers. I wish, I hope कि आपने सारे sentences के साथ verb की ing form लगाई हो, helping verb सही जगह पे use किए हो, I, he, she, it के साथ was लगाया हो, we, you, they के साथ were लगाया हो. Okay, so now let's go for the other tense, which is a future continuous tense. Future means mustaqbil. In Hindi we call it, bhavishya. Continuance means जारी. तो ऐसा काम जो जारी रहेगा उसके लिए we use future continuous tense. Great. So you see the definition that says that will be happening. जो भी हो रहा होगा. Okay. So now let's go for some rules. So the verbs form is ing form gerund. We all know it. क्योंकि हम तमाम कंडीशंस के साथ gerund ही लगाते हैं. The helping verb is really easy. It's will be. तो आपको इसमें सबसे ज़्यादा आसानी ये है will वाले में future sentences में कि आपके पास simple एक helping verb होता है. Next, let's have a look at some examples. Okay, so your sentence is I will be explaining the lesson. नेगेटिव में हम will के साथ not लगाएंगे. कुछ लोग गलती ये करते हैं कि वो be के साथ not लगा देते हैं, जैसे I will be not explaining. तो it is wrong. आप लोग main helping verb के साथ लगाएंगे which is will, उसके बाद be लगाएंगे, फिर verb की ing form लगाएंगे. Interrogative में भी if you see कि पहले will आएगा, फिर subject आएगा, फिर be आएगा. ठीक है. Next example is we will be making food. हम खाना बना रहे होंगे. We will not be making food. हम खाना नहीं बना रहे होंगे. And will we be making food? क्या हम खाना बना रहे होंगे? If you want to write these examples in your copies, go ahead. इसको लिखिए. अपने पास notes बनाइए. कोई चीज़ समझ में ना आए, comment कीजिए, मुझसे पूछिए, अपने किसी teacher से पूछिए, who will be able to explain this to you very well. और आप मुझे comments कर सकते हैं. You can ask me for the practice material. You can ask me for anything. Right? So now, let's go for an exercise. Make sentences with make, dress up, translate, crawl, light, walk, kick. Subjects आपको दिए हुए हैं. You have the subjects. You know in which type you're going to make which tense, right? So go ahead. You can pause the video and make sentences and then resume it to check your answers. Perfect. I think, I hope, I expect that you have made the sentences nicely. So let's go ahead. The answers are she will not be making. अब आप अपनी मर्जी से इसमें ऑब्जेक्ट लगा सकते हैं. मैंने सिर्फ इसको वहाँ तक कंप्लीट किया जहाँ तक मैंने कहा था. Will he be dressing up? I will be translating. It will be crawling. We will not be lightning. Will you be walking? They will not be kicking, right? So that's it for now. अब हम next video के अंदर we will learn about all perfect tenses, 3 perfect tenses that are future perfect, present perfect, and past perfect. I hope you have understood it, and I wish that you come in my next video to understand कि भाई प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट टेंस में और पास्ट सिंपल टेंस में क्या फ़र्क होता है, क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोग इसके अंदर फंस जाते हैं। कंजंक्शन यूज़ करना ज़रूरी है या नहीं पास्ट परफेक्ट टेंस में, क्योंकि कुछ लोग ये समझते हैं कि भाई पास्ट परफेक्ट कंजंक्शन के बगैर सेंटेंस ही कंप्लीट नहीं है। So to know the facts, to know the right answers, go to my next video that I'll be uploading the next day. Alright, so stay tuned, stay connected, keep watching. Don't forget to subscribe the Linguistic channel. Thank you so much. Khuda Hafiz.
For more videos, please subscribe our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to the Linguistic channel. Right, so I told you that we'll be learning perfect tenses in my next video. So we are back. सबसे पहले हम बात करेंगे the difference between present perfect and past simple tense. उसके बाद हम समझेंगे कि भाई ये present perfect के rules वगैरह क्या होते हैं। देखिए, हमने पास्ट सिंपल टेंस पढ़ा कि भाई जो हुआ था, जो हुआ था से मतलब होता है जो हुआ था और अब नहीं है, अब ख़त्म हो चुका है। दैट हैज़ नथिंग टू डू विद द फ्यूचर। तो फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर आप अपने एक रूम में आए थे और अब वहाँ मौजूद नहीं हैं, तो मतलब आप वहाँ से चले गए हैं, तो इसका मतलब है कि भाई ये हो गया पास्ट सिंपल टेंस। ठीक है। अब कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि भाई प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट इज़ यूज फॉर रीसेंट पास्ट, तो इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट। ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि हम रीसेंट पास्ट के लिए प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट टेंस यूज़ करते हैं। प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट टेंस हम यूज़ करते हैं जब हमारे पास इफ़ेक्ट्स मौजूद होते हैं। ठीक है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आप 1 सेकंड के लिए कमरे में आए और बाहर चले गए, तो आप क्या बोलेंगे? मैं आया हूँ? नो, यू वुड से मैं आया था। ठीक है। तो ये रीसेंट पास्ट की तो पास हो गया। तो इसी के अंदर हमें प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट टेंस की डेफिनेशन भी समझ आती है कि ऐसा काम जो हुआ था उसकी असरात अभी तक मौजूद हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, मैंने वीडियो अपलोड कर दी है। ठीक है। तो व्हेन आई एम सेइंग मैंने वीडियो अपलोड कर दी है, इट मीन्स द वीडियो इज नाउ देयर। ठीक है। अब वो वीडियो वहाँ पे मौजूद है। द वीडियो इज नाउ देयर। ठीक है। सो समथिंग दैट हैज़ हैपेंड। अच्छा, अगर आपने मेरी वो वीडियो जिसके अंदर मैंने तम रूल्स बताए हैं टेंसेस की वो देखी है, तो आपको ये मालूम होगा कि हम तमाम परफेक्ट टेंसेस के साथ, परफेक्ट कंटिन्यूस नहीं, सिर्फ परफेक्ट टेंसेस के साथ वर्ब की थर्ड फॉर्म यूज़ करते हैं। ठीक है। वी ऑलवेज यूज़ वर्ब्स थर्ड फॉर्म व्हेन इट कम्स टू आई परफेक्ट टेंस। ठीक है। Either it's past perfect, present perfect, or future perfect. Let's go for some rules. As I've already told you, we use verb third form, and the helping verbs are has and have. ठीक है। We use the helping verbs as has and have. ठीक है। has किसके साथ यूज होगा? he, she, it या थर्ड पर्सन सिंगुलर के साथ, एंड हैव विल बी यूज विद आई, वी, यू, they. ठीक है। तो नाउ इट्स टाइम फॉर द एग्जांपल्स। यू सी, आई हैव गॉन टू मार्केट मीन्स मैं अभी तक वही हूँ। शी हैज़ यूनिफाइड अस, वी हैव सेंट द लिस्ट, यू हैव ड्रंक वाटर, ही हैज़ फिल्ड इट इन, मतलब ये अभी तक भरी हुई है। इफ somebody has filled in some water in the bottle, right, they have made it, वो ये बना चुके हैं। It has fallen, ये गिर चुका है, मतलब अभी भी गिरा हुआ है, या वो गंदा है, या कुछ भी ऐसा कोई इफेक्ट है जिससे हमें पता चल रहा है कि हाँ भाई इट इज विल बी यूज इन प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट टेंस। नेगेटिव का रूल वही रहेगा, वी विल यूज नॉट विद द हेल्पिंग वर्ड। तो थर्ड फॉर्म की थर्ड फॉर्म रहेगी, आई हैव नॉट गॉन, शी हैज़ नॉट यूनिफाइड अस, वी हैव नॉट सेंट द लिस्ट, हमने लिस्ट नहीं भेजी है, यू हैव नॉट ड्रंक वाटर, तुमने पानी नहीं पिया है, ही हैज़ नॉट फिल्ड इट इन। अच्छा, ऐसा नहीं जब हम नेगेटिव बनाएंगे तो ही शीट के साथ हम हैव लगा देंगे, ही शीट के साथ हैज़ ही लगेगा। ठीक है। ओके, नाउ इंटेरोगेटिव वी यूज, व्हाट डू वी डू, हम हेल्पिंग वर्ब को पहले ले आते हैं। It's going to be word. I have not gone to market का interrogative क्या होगा? It will be have I gone to the market? Has he unified us? Have we sent the list? Have you drunk water? Has he not filled it in? And so on. Next, it's time for your exercise. You have the verbs, you know what to do with them. I'm giving you a minute. इनके sentences बनाइए. Pause the video, make sentences, come back to check if your answers are correct or not. Okay, now think you have successfully made all the tenses. So let's check them. So I asked you कि आपने abundant का negative बनाना है. So you see here he has not abundant, right? Next, enable, interrogative, have you enabled? आप इसमें कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट लगा सकते हैं अपनी मर्जी से. Actually, it's just an example, तो मैंने ऑब्जेक्ट नहीं लगाया. Abort, I have aborted the mission. Absorb, a piece of cloth has absorbed all the water, and so on. You can check your answers. Moving on to the next part, which is a past perfect tense. अच्छा, past perfect tense में लोगों को बहुत confusion रहती है कि भाई इसमें हम क्या करें, इसको हम conjunction कैसे use करें. देखिए पहली बात ये कि इसके अंदर जी हाँ conjunction बिल्कुल इस्तेमाल होता है. We use the conjunction, we join it with past simple tense. लेकिन ऐसा हरगिज़ ज़रूरी नहीं है कि उसके बगैर sentence complete नहीं है. ठीक है, उर्दू में इसकी definition होगी जो हो चुका था या हो गया था. अब जो भी हो चुका था या हो गया था उसके लिए we will be using a past perfect tense. Okay, so the helping verb of past perfect tense is had, and तमाम perfect tenses के साथ we use verbs third form, and that's it. अब मैं आपको examples में बताऊंगा कि भाई how they are used. Okay, before moving to my examples, हमने एक example जो हम सबने सुनी होगी हमारे बचपन में हमारे स्कूल में, even I remember it so now. It is कि मरीज के डॉक्टर के आने से पहले मरीज मर चुका था. तो डॉक्टर आना it is past, मरीज मर चुका था it is past perfect. ठीक है, पहले को क्या बोलते हैं? Before. Let's see. Examples. After Sophia had finished her work, she went to lunch. Sophie ने जब अपना काम खत्म कर लिया था तो वो लंच पे चले गई. Next, I washed the floor when the painter had gone. मैंने फ्लोर साफ किया जब पेंटर चला गया था. ठीक है, you can read all 13 examples your own self. और अगर आपको कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा, कोई ऐसी चीज़ है that is bothering you, that is clicking कि भाई ये क्या चीज़ है, ये कैसे हुआ, I want you to please write it in the comment and tell me कि सर ये कैसे होगा, and ask me कि भाई सर how you did that, और इसमें ये चीज़ कैसे हुई, ये चीज़ कैसे हुई. ठीक है, I would really appreciate if you ask me the questions and things like that. And one more thing, if you have not subscribed the channel, do it now. क्योंकि next video मैंने बताया है कि ये tenses से free होने के बाद we will be talking about modal verbs and some good idioms जो कि हम बहुत daily life में इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, and they are really useful. Okay, I hope you have clearly understood the examples. Now let's go for an exercise. You have the verb, you know what to do with them. I'm giving you time to please make sentences, and then first pause the video, make sentences yourself, and then check your answers after playing it. Perfect. Now I think you have made the sentences, so let's check the answers. I had not adopted this hobby unless I completely loved it. The first example that I have written, अगर आपने यहाँ पे कुछ और लिखा है तो that is still not wrong. अगर आपने formation सही follow की है, had लगाया है, negative में not लगाया है, verb की third form लगाई है, So the sentence is perfect. Next, he had advised his friend during his hard time. Next, had I afforded all your expenses when you were a child, and so on. Okay, guys. Future perfect tense. Where do we use it? At first, you tell me that which form of verb do we use with it? Yes, verb's third form. ठीक है, it's a rule कि हम तमाम perfect tenses के साथ verb की third form लगाते हैं. ठीक है, तो that will have happened मतलब जो काम हो चुका होगा या हो गया होगा. जैसे कि मैं 3 साल बाद MBA कंप्लीट कर चुका हूँगा, राइट, और या फिर तुम्हारी 3 महीने बाद शादी हो चुकी होगी, या whatever you say. ठीक है, so let's move ahead to the rules. Will have is the only helping verb that we have in it, and verbs third form. Examples: I will have appointed him, she will have applied for the job, they will have approached me. जैसे कि मैंने अपनी पहली सबसे शुरू में जब मैंने एग्जांपल दी थी कि मेरा MBA कंप्लीट हो चुका होगा 2021 तक, तो you can also write the time yourself you want to mention it, otherwise it is not compulsory at all, right? Next, negative, I will not have appointed him by tonight, you can say कि मैं उसको आज रात तक अपॉइंट नहीं कर चुका हूँगा. She will not have applied for the job, वो अप्लाई नहीं कर चुकी होगी, and so on. Interrogative में the same rules will be followed. You will be using will in the beginning, or फिर the sentence will remain the same. You can see the examples yourself, and you can, if you want to write them, you can write them as well. Okay, now it's time for the exercise. You have the verb, you know what to do. Pause the video, make sentences with present perfect as instructed, and come back to the video, play and know the answers. Good luck. Okay, I think you have clearly got the answers, so let's go ahead. Answers are, I won't have aimed, right? You see, negative will not की short form होती है want. So I won't have aimed at my goal. Will you have arrived by 2? I will have apologized before he gets cross, right? अच्छा, यहाँ पे मैंने present simple tense को future tense में use किया है. हम ये पढ़ेंगे, it is an advanced use of present simple tense that we can also use present simple and future tense in a lot of places, right? So you can learn it later on. Till then, right now you can see what's going on here. I will not have assumed this. Will you have attacked on them? She will have authorized. अच्छा, यहाँ पे देखें आप, we do not use has with he, she, it, क्योंकि the first main helping verb is will. तो ये क्या होगा? She will have. She will has नहीं होगा. If you use she will has, the sentence will be wrong. Got it? We won't have started new business till the end of this year. Okay, so I hope you have clearly understood all the perfect tenses so well. And फिर भी अगर कोई question है, you're more than welcome. आप पूछ सकते हैं in the comments below, or if you need some practice material, you can talk to me. And if you have not subscribed my channel, do it now. Thank you so much for watching. Allah Hafiz.
For more videos, please subscribe our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to the last part of the video about tenses, in which we'll be learning all perfect continuous tenses, right? Before we move ahead, if you have not subscribed the channel, do it now. Alright, so the first thing we need to understand before we go ahead with perfect continuous tenses, we need to understand the use of since and for. A lot of people, I've seen a lot of people using since and for, wrongly. Like some people say since 5 hours, since 3 days, which is absolutely wrong, right? Why? Because since is used to talk about beginning of time, right? Time when you start doing something, or the time when something really started. Like, in the morning, since morning, you want to say, I've been teaching since morning. So you would say since morning, and if it's been 5 hours that you've been teaching, so you're not going to say since, you're going to use for. Do it Hindi to be really much, clear to you guys. Since शुरू के वक्त बताने के लिए इस्तेमाल होता है, जैसे कि भाई since morning, since afternoon, since 2 o'clock, since January, since my 3rd birthday. लेकिन जब हम 4 की बात करेंगे तो हम बात करेंगे counted time की, जैसे कि भाई 4 5 hours, for 7 hours, for 15 years, for 3 days, for 3 minutes, or whatsoever, right? So whenever you use since for, you need to take care of these 4 things. Next is a past perfect continuous tense. ठीक है, तो we know कि भाई हम उसमें कौन सी verb की form use करेंगे. We will be using verbs ing form. This is what we use with all perfect continuous tenses. The definition of this tense is that started in past and is still continuing. ऐसा काम जो माजी में शुरू हुआ था और अब तक जारी है, उसके लिए you will be using present perfect continuous tense. The helping verbs are has been and have been, and verb form, as I already told you, is ing. Let's go ahead and see some examples. In affirmative, you see, I have been trying to bend the rod since morning. मतलब मैं सुबह से ये rod मोड़ने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. नेगेटिव में जो हमारा रूल है कि भाई हम हेल्पिंग वर्ब के साथ not यूज करते हैं, तो this is what we have done. I have not been trying to bend the rod since morning. अब यहाँ पे you see trying के बाद to है, इसलिए उसके बाद वाला जो verb है उसके अंदर verb की first form. The next one, have I been trying to bend the rod since morning? If you see the other examples with he, she, it, or we, you, they. So the second example is, she has been approaching me for 2 hours. Negative, she has not been approaching me for 2 hours. And interrogative, has then she then been approaching me for 2 hours. So I expect that you have understood how to use present perfect continuous tense. So let's move ahead for an exercise. You see, the verbs have been given to you. Now you know what to do with them. You need to form their sentences. Video को pause करें, sentences बनाइए. Once you are done, play the video again and check if your answers are correct or not. The time starts now. Okay, so you must have made all the sentences. So let's see. It is going to be she has not been here. I think the bean missed somewhere. So it's going to be she has not been aiming. I'm very sorry. Aiming at her goals since the schools are off. Have you been teaching since morning? They have been apologizing for their acts. So you see, जैसा कि मैंने आपको बताया, since और for यूज करना कंपलसरी नहीं है कि भाई आप यूज नहीं करेंगे तो सेंटेंस गलत हो जाएगा. If you use it, that's okay. If you don't use it, that's okay as well. ठीक है? So you can check your answers. It's going to be she has not been. Let me correct it for you right now. Now I see you guys can easily got it. Okay, let me go to the last slide. But like if there is any question you guys want to ask me, write it in the comments below so that I can know that this is the question. And I will be able to answer it. Acha, so we are just there. Alright, here we are. Present perfect continuous tense. examples, exercise, and then the answers. After this, we have got a past perfect continuous tense, which is going to be the last tense. Why? Because it's just like, future perfect continuous tense is not used anymore, that frequently, that, now it's being, vanished from English grammar as well, that, it's not being used the way that other tenses are used. So it's not going to be the part of the session, but it's still, if you want to use it, want to know about it, you can leave a query in the comments that we want that. So I will definitely tell you how to use future perfect continuous. But let's talk about past perfect continuous tense right now. The definition is that had been happened. Matlab, that started in the past, continued in the past for a period of time and then finished. ऐसा काम जो past में शुरू हुआ था, जारी रहा एक वक्त के लिए और फिर खत्म हो गया, उसके लिए हम past perfect continuous tense use करते हैं. The helping verb is had been. The form of verb is ing, and since and for is used, but it's still not mandatory. ये भी ज़रूरी नहीं है कि भाई इसको use किया जाए. Let's go ahead, take some examples. You see, after Sophia had been finishing her work, I had been washing the floor. Harold had been learning English for 2 years. I had been talking to her. So just like past continuous tense, कि भाई I had been washing the floor, मतलब मैं floor wash कर रहा था, ठीक है? Harold had been learning English for 2 years. Harold जो है वो English सीख रहा था 2 साल से, ठीक है? तो this is how it goes. So 2 साल से या 2 साल उसने अंग्रेजी सीखी, it's going to be that way. So let's go for an exercise. You can pause the video, you have the verb, you know what to do, and you can simply make sentences. Welcome back. Let's go for the answers. So she negative adopt. So it's going to be like I had not been adopting this hobby. He had not been advising his friend during his hard time. Or when it comes to afford, I interrogative. So it will be like, had I been affording all your expenses when you were a child? So the third one I would like to translate for you. Had I been affording all your expenses when you were a child? क्या मैं तुम्हारे expenses afford कर रहा था जब तुम बच्चे थे? Why I'm doing it because it has got a conjunction here. ठीक है? So this is how it is used, and this is what past perfect continuous tense is. So, do you have any question? If you have, do write them in the comments below so that I can see, I can reply you, I can answer you, and if there is something that you want to learn, you can even tell me that, sir, this covered this topic. I'll be more than happy to help you out in that. Thank you so much for taking out time, learning things. Learning is important. Enjoy your life. Allah Hafiz.